nail polish freaks. If you watch my last video, you get that. But I think I'm gonna have that as my intro from now on. I kind of like that. Polish freaks. I think that's what I'm gonna call you guys. I always thought it was kind of fun that people made up names for their followers. So we're gonna be the polish freaks. Do you guys like that? Let me know down below. Is that lame? I kind of like it because then I don't feel so alone in my love for polish. And so we can all just be polish freaks. Okay, so today I have the OPI Celebration Collection for 2021, and I like this one quite a bit. There's 6 hollows, and then there's 5 straight creams, and they're really rich, nice, opaque creams. And then there's a white that has a little bit of a shimmer in it, but it's just kind of a hint of like a pearly shimmer. So a good variety in this one. There's only one red and it's a hollow, so there's no reds in this, which is kind of interesting and a little different for OPI during the holidays. I appreciated that when I was doing comparisons. I do have comparisons for a lot of these, but not for all of them, because a lot of them are polishes that are pretty original, and I'll just share the ones that I do have, obviously. And then there's 3 bonus polishes, which are all like glitter toppers, which will be so fun for New Year's, so I think you guys are going to really like those too. This is a limited edition collection. Beyond Polish sent this collection to me, and it is available there. It's a good place to buy polish. Use my code GOLARI10 for a 10% discount on regular priced items. And let's get into it. First one is Snow Day in LA, and I love that name. And it's beautiful. It's a nice opaque white, so it's really interesting. It's not like a thin kind of pearly shimmery color. It's an opaque white with just a hint of a pearly shimmer, and it has a slight iridescent shift, but it doesn't show up very much. It kind of looks like it shifts from, I see a lot of orange in it, but I don't know, and sometimes green. It's really interesting, but it's just very subtle. You're not going to really be able to see it on the nail like you do a little bit more in the bottle, but it does leave your nail with a nice glow. It had a really good formula. I wanted to get it opaque in 2 coats, and I feel like it was super close, but just not quite. And so some of my fingernails I did 3 coats. Well, I think I ended up doing all of them 3 coats, but this is probably going to be a 3-coater for you, but a lot of the times a lot of these whites are, but this one is a little bit more stark, so like I said, it's a little bit close to 2 coats. So it instantly reminded me of Sweet Souffle, and I'm going to talk about that here. I have comparisons. So I compared it to Essie Sweet Souffle, and that one's more of a yellow cream. I was surprised it's not as white as I remembered, and that one, the shimmer and the iridescence is a little bit stronger, and so it looks different. Obviously they're not the same. And then I compared it to Dancing Keeps Me on My Toes, and that one's glittery, pearly, and kind of shimmery, so it's a little different, not the same. And then Essie Twinkle in Time, and that one is very shimmery. So there really wasn't anything that was exact as this, so this one's quite original, and I actually really liked it a lot, especially during the holidays in the winter. I really think I'm going to enjoy this one because that pearly finish is pretty subtle. And then next up is Big Bow Energy, and it's a beautiful purple leaning pink. It's a little bit darker too, but it's not too dark to be like raspberry. So it's a beautiful shade. I love shades like this. I think it's kind of nice to have shades like this in the winter because you get kind of tired of the dusty and the dark, and you want something a little bit brighter to kind of brighten you up after a long winter. It's got a great formula. It's going to be opaque in 2 coats. There are a lot of pinks that are almost exact as this. So you guys know I had one, I think, in Essie's line, and then one in OPI's line that's very close. I don't think they're like exact, but the differences are like super slight. I wanted to say that 7th and Flower, I knew I'd be asked about that, and that one's darker, and I didn't do a comparison for that one, but that one is darker than this. And then GPS I Love You and colors like that were a little bit more red. But let's get into those comparisons. So Slumber Party On, I wanted to put in there, even though I knew it was a little dusty and slightly warmer, but I wanted you to be able to see that because it's a newer pink polish. And then the Fuchsia is Bright is almost exact, maybe a touch more purple. And then Mod Square, oh, that's such a good polish from Essie. That one's close to this, and it might be a touch lighter. So the Fuchsia is Bright is probably the closest out of this bunch. So we have No Turning Back from Pink Street, and that one is almost exact. And then we have Kiss Me on My Tulips, and that's kind of an older polish, and that one's really close too. And 50 is the New Fabulous. That's one of my old favorites from like years ago. A lot of you probably haven't even heard of that one, but that one's a little bit darker. So this one isn't super original, but if you don't have a pink this tone, then this one is a good one to get. Then we have Ring in the Blue Year, and this is a beautiful bright royal blue, but it almost has a little bit of purple. It reminded me a lot of Essie Butler Please, and I'll show that comparison in a minute. but it's just really beautiful, and I do love these kind of shades for winter and even fall too. Even though they're kind of bright, I just really love these kind of shades, especially ones that lean a little more purple. It has a really fantastic formula. It's going to be opaque in 2 beautiful coats. We have Butler Please, and it is close, but it's a little bit more purple, and I like these both the same. I still really love Butler Please, so it didn't like knock that one out for me, but I really like both of these. And then I wanted you to see it next to the OPI Nature Strong Shore is Something. You can see that Ring in the Blue Year is a little more purple compared to that color. It's just a little bit cooler. And then same as My Pal Joey, it's not as rich, and of course My Pal Joey is more blue. I wanted you to see the purple in that color by looking at those comparisons. So hopefully that was really helpful for you, and I really, really, really loved this one. Then we have All Is Berry and Bright, and this is a beautiful mid-toned purple. It's a little bit cooler, and I love this kind of shade of purple. The formula on this one is really fantastic as well. OPI always kills it with their formulas. It's going to be opaque in 2 coats, and it just builds up really nicely on the nail, and let's talk about the comparisons that I have for you. So we have Mariachi Makes My Day, and that's darker and slightly more navy. And then we have OPI Hello Pretty, and that's more of a red toned purple. And then My Car Has Navigation. I kind of thought it might be closer to that one. I don't know why, but that one's quite a bit darker and has a little bit more navy in it, even though it has some purple in it. So I really couldn't find anything exact. There might be something out there that I missed. If you can think of anything, let me know. But I thought I scoured my collection pretty good, so put down in the comments below if you want me to compare this to anything. If it's really close, I'll do another swatch picture when I post them on Instagram, and if it's just kind of close or not close at all, I'll probably just compare them on stories so you guys can see that on my Instagram page. So that's the purple. And then we have OPI Heart to Party, and I'm loving that they're putting these little hearts in their names lately that they have. I think it's so cute. But it's a beautiful deep plum color. I love colors like these. I think I have a handful of them in my fall favorites, and I'll probably add a few more in my winter favorites because I really love to wear these this time of year. So OPI has a lot of shades kind of similar to this, but their bases are all a little bit different. Since the polishes are so dark, you're really not going to be able to see those slight differences. Well, other people probably won't be able to see them, but you'll know that they're different when you wear them. So I like to have a variety of them just because they are slightly different, but I'm going to talk about those differences in a second. In 2 coats, just like all the other colors that they have. So before I talk about this, I wanted to mention that Lincoln Park After Dark kind of has a similar base color. It's maybe a touch more red, but it's much deeper. So I didn't compare it to that one, but I wanted to mention it because I thought I would get asked. But let's go into the comparisons that I do have. We have Good Girls Gone Plaid, and that's a little darker and has more of a red base. And so all of these are going to be slight differences, just so you guys are aware. And then Wanna Wrap, that's very, very close, almost exact. And I love that polish. It's been a favorite of mine for a while. So it's very close to that, just slightly different. And then Oh Susie Mio, that one's lighter and more purple, and I just wanted you to see that. And then I wanted you to know that A Grape Affair and Oh Susie Mio are like almost exactly the same, and I just compared it to Oh Susie Mio so you guys could see. So this one is a little bit different, even though there is a ton of polishes out there, and I didn't do any comparisons to Essie because there's a lot of those too, but I just thought I'd stick to OPI. And then we have Maraschino Cherry. Oh my gosh, I love that name. It's so cute. Even if I didn't like this polish, I'd probably buy this for the name. I don't know why I like it so much, but I really, really do. I love how they did that play on words. And I love a good cherry red. This one's beautiful. It kind of has a jellyish, almost crelly formula. It's an interesting formula that can sometimes be difficult to work with, I feel like. You kind of have to move it around on your nail with the brush, and you can't get it too thick. You have to be a little bit careful with it, but the finish is just going to be so nice when you're done because it's going to build up, it's going to look squishy, and this one's a little bit deeper than some of the other ones that I have that I feel like are kind of like that with the same formula, and I just think it's going to be so perfect for the holidays. So that's the deal with the formula. It built up nicely in 2 coats, although I think I did 3 for the swatch picture just because I wanted to make sure that it had really good coverage. It does still build up really nicely in 2 coats. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the 6 hollows. I love that OPI is doing hollows because they're a little bit different and they are kind of glitter polishes that I really like to wear. First up, we have Ready Fete Go, and it is a beautiful hollow teal. It's so pretty. It has kind of green hollow and blue hollow and some silver in there. I don't know how to describe these hollows very well, you guys. Oh, I need to do some research so I can explain them a little bit better because I'm really kind of just getting into them. But I love this color. This is probably my favorite one out of all of them just because this color is just so beautiful. The formula is fantastic on all of these too. This is going to be opaque in like one coat. I do think it looks a little better if you do two and build it up a little bit, but they're really just so opaque. I really wanted to compare this to the China Glaze polish that just came out from their Halloween collection, so I did. So let's look at that right now. So that one's called She's So Extraterrestrial. They're actually very close, and you can see on here. I feel like the blue shimmer is a touch brighter in Ready Fete Go, and so I feel like I like the OPI one just a little bit better than the China Glaze one. I feel like the China Glaze one has more of a green undertone, and I could just be crazy because I think in the picture you're going to see that they look pretty much exactly the same. You can decide which one that you want to get, but I did find that they're pretty close. But I just love that OPI has one of these now. And then we have MYLAR Dreams, and it's this beautiful pink holo. I love this. It's perfect for the holidays. I love a bright pink for the holidays. Like I said, the formula on these are all fantastic, so they're going to build up in one. I can't remember if I'm showing you one application coat in my live swatch or not, or two, but I did two for all the swatch pictures, just so you guys know. I don't have a comparison for this one just quite yet. I'm going to talk about the next one that's a little bit more purple, and I added it to that so you could see the difference between those because I don't have a lot of holos to compare it to. I will compare it in the next polish comparison. So this next one is My Color Wheel is Spinning. So this is the one that I'm going to compare that last one to next. As you can see, it's more purple, and I love this shade of purple. It's so pretty. I think they picked such beautiful colors for these holos, especially for the holidays. And this again has really great formula. It's going to be opaque in 1 to 2 coats. You can see that application here. So this totally reminded me of one of my old favorites. Like if you've been following me for 5 or 6 years, you know that I had an old favorite that I used to wear all the time, and it was DS Extravaganza from OPI. They had like a DS line, and I really liked that one a lot. It's getting a little dry, but I did compare that for you guys. So let's talk about that comparison now. So as you can see, MYLAR Dreams is the first one I have here, and that's the last one that I talked about from this collection. As you can see, that's more pink. So DS Extravagance, that's the correct name. I mispronounced it earlier. That's more of a wine purple, and I thought they'd be closer than they really were, but I really love that shade. So I really like both of these. I probably like My Color Wheel is Spinning better than MYLAR Dreams a little bit because I like those kind of deeper purples a little bit better for shimmery polishes for some reason. I don't know why. And then I compared it to, is it City Slicker? My gosh, I can't read my handwriting. You'll see the name there, Laurie Brain. Anyway, that one's more pink. It kind of had a similar color tone, and it's packed full of shimmer, but it's a little bit different. My bottle of this has like completely almost dried out. The swatch I have of this is a little bit chunky. That'll allow you to see the color there. I wonder if your guys' bottles have dried out like mine have. I feel like I need to check all the other ones that I have that are like that. There's a green one from a holiday collection. I can't think of the name right now, but I'm gonna go check all my bottles to see how they're doing because I was just surprised that that one was so dried out, and I think it's because it gets full of junk on the top, and I need to be better at cleaning it, and it can't quite seat down onto the bottle to get a nice seal. So just pay attention to that and keep those clean so you don't have the same problem that I did. But anyway, I really liked this one a lot. And then we have this beautiful blue called LED Marquee, and it is just a beautiful color. It's got a little bit of a purple tone to it, and it's got like shifting blue and silver hollow flaky things in there. And I just love it. I didn't do any comparisons for this one because it's quite original, and I think it's going to be so fun to wear. And then we have Paint the Tinseltown Red. I love that name. It's so cute, and I love this. It's kind of a lighter red just because that silver in there makes it a little bit lighter, and I think it's really fun. So it almost kind of has a pink hint to it when you have it on your nail, and I think it's really pretty. And I didn't do any comparisons for this just because it's pretty original to my collection. Then we have Turn Bright After Sunset, and I love this one. I think that name's kind of interesting for this polish though. I don't know where they came up with that, but it's a beautiful kind of smoky gunmetal gray, and it's got these beautiful hollow glitters in there, but they're almost a little subdued and they look really neutral on the nail. It kind of reminded me a little bit of like the textury finish on Audio Bad nails, Chow Great Nails. It doesn't look like glitter. I don't know. You just have to put it on to see. It's really hard for me to describe, but they're kind of neutral pieces instead of like big glittery chunks. It's just beautiful. I really, really enjoyed this one. There's quite a few kind of gunmetal polishes that OPI has, and let's talk about the ones that I compared this one to. I compared it to Heat and Kohl. The base in that one is pretty much the same as this, I feel like, but that one has some glittery pieces in it, so that's what sets it apart. And then To All a Good Night has like a blue hint and is a little shimmery. Isn't She Iconic? More of a silvery shimmery color, and you can see that difference there. So this is definitely unique as well, and I think you guys are really gonna love this one. It's one that you might pass up, but I do think it's very interesting and a little bit unusual. So the last three are gonna be like the 3 glitter toppers, and I think they're really fun. I love that they have glitters that go along with the celebration idea behind this collection. And these are gonna be limited edition, just so you guys know that. The first one that I'm gonna start with is Confetti Ready, and this is the one I felt like reminded me of Teenage Dream, and I haven't looked up pictures yet. I might insert a picture of that. I'll see if I can find a stock picture because I don't want to steal someone else's picture. I do not have that polish, but I'm just curious to see how close it is for that because I was really trying to hunt that one down and I could never ever find it. But this is a beautiful glitter topper. So it's got pinks and light purples and like lavenders and then a little bit of gold and silvery pieces in there, and it's just really beautiful. I'm going to show you all these swatch pictures on top of black just so these pieces stand out a little bit more, and then when I'm done showing them I'm going to talk about how I apply the glitter toppers, just some helpful tips for that. So I really liked this one. I really like the color of the glitter pieces quite a bit. And then the next one is You Had Me at Confetti, and this is more of like a rainbow style glitter. So it's got like red, orange, green, blues and peach shades in there and some gold. So it's those kind of colors. So I do like the pink one a little bit better than this one, and maybe I'll put them next to each other so you guys can see. It's probably kind of hard to tell. This one's fun too though. I really do think they're kind of fun for the holidays. Now I have to say, as far as the formula goes, I thought they would have a little more coverage than they did, but that's how I always feel about these kind of glitter toppers. Keep that in mind. You can build them up quite a bit. It wasn't like totally sparse on the nail. I felt like I got good coverage, but if you want to build this up quite a bit to be really glittery, you're probably gonna have to do like 4 or 5 coats, maybe three or 4 I would say. So just keep that in mind, but that's kind of how these glitter toppers are anyway. You can build them up as much as you want. And then we have Cheers to Many Years, and this one actually really surprised me. I wasn't sure if I would like this. It doesn't have as many of the big chunks. They're just kind of sparse in there, but then it has a lot of these smaller glittery pieces which are like green, blue, pink, and kind of that peach shade that they have in here. It's almost kind of like a beige peach shade. But I liked how they were kind of sparse, and it just looks so beautiful on the nail, just having that little bit of sparse glitter on there. And this one actually ended up being my favorite out of all of them, just for that reason. Here I'm going to show you what I do when I am using glitter. So when I am cleaning off the brush, I take the brush out and then I really clean just one side. I press it against the bottle probably 3 or 4 times just to get a lot of that liquid off, but keep glitter on one side of the brush. That way when you're applying it, it's not going to be too thick. So then you can see I have one side that has glitter on it and one side that doesn't. So you're going to flip that around, of course, and so the end you're going to paint with is the one that has glitter, and then you're just going to paint that on. Then you're not going to have a really thick goopy base, and it's going to be a little bit thinner. So if you need to add more layers, you're able to, because it's not too thick. So that's how I like to apply my glitter polishes, just so that you guys know. I do find that to be a little more helpful, and hopefully it was. And I don't know, maybe you have a tip or trick too that you could tell me too, but that's usually what I like to do when I'm applying glitter polishes, because that liquid base can sometimes just get so thick and build up that you really just want to clean it off that brush. Okay, so that is the whole collection. Let's go through and pick my favorites. Okay, I made myself stick to like 5. I was gonna pick a few more. Some of the other ones I think are pretty similar to what others have. Oh man, I can't pick these up. But these are my favorites here. Ooh, look how cool these are. So this beautiful bright bluish with a hint of purple ring in the blue year, and then the white is Snow Day in LA, and then Turn Bright After Sunset are those three. And then we have this beautiful hollow, Ready, Fete, Go, and then the glitter Cheers to Many Years, which ended up being my favorite. So those are going to be my favorites out of all the collections. So that's 15 polishes in this collection that I'm showing you. They are all available at Beyond Polish. They're limited edition, so if you want any, I'd pick them up. Okay, thanks so much for joining me, you polish freaks. That was awesome. I really like saying that. That's kind of fun. Anyway, thank you so much. It's been so fun to get to know all you guys, and I just really enjoy your comments. So leave comments down below and tell me your thoughts about the collection, what you will be wearing in the winter. In the meantime, let's enjoy fall. I'm still enjoying fall polishes. Anyway, so thanks for watching. I will see you guys in my next review. Bye.